This review covers the 1/25th scale Revell Ford F-150 SVT Raptor kit. It's kit number 85-1977, and being a new release just a few years ago, there weren't any more of these out on the market, even though this is a snap-tight kit which is rated as skill level 1. It only contains 49 parts molded in red, black, chrome, clear red, and clear smoke, and includes vinyl tires and metal axles. And it has stickers for decals, not water slide. As a skill level 1 snap-tight kit, you don't need any glue or paint, and that's optional. There's no motor, and the details are molded to the chassis pan. There's an extensive interior, and the body is multiple part unit, but the clear windshield is included, but the back windows are smoked to replicate a tint. Overall, the truck is proportioned properly and nicely noticeable as a Ford F-150, so this popular truck is the base for a lot of custom builds now. When you're done, the dimensions are about 8 3/4 inches long, 4 inches wide, and 3 inches high. Here are the peel-off stickers for this kit. They're pretty nice, and they're set for a child to be able to assemble and play with this as a durable toy. But we're going to do some a little detailing, so to speak, and make some changes so that this can be a more detailed and authentic looking kit. We may use some super glue here and some paint and spray products, etc. So make sure that you follow the manufacturer's suggested safety guidelines when using any of the products that you see here. The chassis pan can use some paint and detailing to make it stand out. I use different shades of silver, aluminum, and steels on the flat black surface and detail it to whatever skill level you like. Now there's a copyright script on the rear corner that needs to be removed and sanded smooth. Now paint the brake silver with gold calipers and paint the mount area of the chrome tips flat black and install those. The brakes on the unit are directional, so make sure to attach those to the proper locations and add the metal axles into the chassis pan now. Snap kit or not, these are some great looking tires, and the wheels are pretty fancy too. They can be assembled now by installing the rim into the tire. Then I'd give them a little road-worn look by pressing and rolling the tread area on a sheet of 220 sandpaper on a flat surface to give it that used road look. Now using firm, even pressure, go ahead and snap the tire hubs onto the axles and squeeze them together until they're seated and equidistant inside the chassis and frame. In just a short time and just a couple quick steps, we are already at the rolling chassis stage, ready to build on the rest of the model for our display. Grab these parts out of the kit and we're ready to start on the interior. There's multiple steps in the instructions for this assembly, and I've broken it down into 2 assemblies, so pick your interior color and paint all of the parts the base interior color. Then assemble the seats and the seat backs prior to paint. Now my build is gray with blue accents, and so tape off the console and paint the floor flat black, and then just look on the internet for references on painting the seats and the consoles, and you can go by my display here for some suggestions. There are blue accent stripes on the seats and the door panels, and the console is gray with blue and flat black accents. I wanted to do something a little different, so I'm adding carpeting to my truck. I will use what they call carpet flocking, and I'm going to put some of that on the floor pan. So it's really simple. You just make sure that your base color is the same as your flocking, and then put a little white glue there, paint it on in a thin layer, shake some of the flocking onto it, kind of tamp it down a little bit, and then dump off any of the excess to get rid of any loose stuff. There you have it, a carpeted floor for your model. Now assemble the interior by adding the rear seats, then the front seats, the console lid and the shifter, and finally attach the door panels into place. Now grab the parts out for the detailed dashboard, steering column, and steering wheel, and we'll assemble those at this time. To complement my build, I painted the dash, column, and steering wheel gray, and then I used stickers 2 and 4 for the instrument panels and the radio. Then detail paint the dash with some blue, some black and silver as per some reference photos I found, and then assemble the column and steering wheel to the dash. Then add that to the slots in the interior. Here's an overhead view of the completed interior ready to install into the body. The body is molded in 2 parts, the cab and the bed. To prepare the body for paint, it needs to be wet sanded with some fine grit sandpaper, like about an 800, and I found no blemishes or mold lines to remove on my sample, so give it a good overall sanding and she should be ready to go. I noticed on the body when I was going over it that there's some flashing underneath the windshield wipers. It's real thin plastic, and I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, but you can remove it to add some authenticity to the look. Once you've gotten the body sanded and rinsed and air dried, use a good quality etching primer and paint the inside and outside of the body. Then wet sand it again with the light grit 800-2000 sandpaper, rinse and let dry once again. To show you what a dramatic difference just a different paint color can make, I went with a medium metallic blue and sprayed the body and the bed with my color of choice. But as you can see, it really makes this toy-looking model look more like a regular display kit. Now we can paint some of the details on the body. The cowl and the wipers, the door window moldings, the rear window, and the fender vents and the door handles on the cab, as well as the tailgate handle, are black, and the tail light bezels are silver. At this point, I applied the stickers to the body. They all went on very nicely and didn't have any warps or loops in them. So they've got supple material to use, and they look really great when you get them in place. After that, I gave the body a clear coat to seal those into position so that they won't lift in the future. After the clear coat had dried, the front bumper and fender flares are painted so that they can have a matte finish. So tape them off with some good flexible tape and paint them a gunmetal color to match the real trucks. I painted the inside of the bed area a satin black to replicate a spray-in bed liner. And then I used some fine line tape by 3M, and that's a vinyl tape that allows you to stretch it around the curves. And being vinyl, it leaves a perfectly straight line for paint. It can be found at most automotive body supply stores like Napa, or you can find it online. I dipped the window glass in some Pledge floor care to give it a crisper look. And you just dip it in there, wick off the excess and let it dry, and it really makes it look clearer and crisper. So once you get that dried, you can put the windows into place with some white glue. First the front glass and then the rear glass. Now we'll install the headlights and the grille. The grille is already the correct color and finish, so leave it unpainted. The corner lights and the lower lights get painted a turn signal yellow. Now install the headlight lenses, clear parts, and then followed by the bezel units from the inside, and add the grille from the outside and press into place. We can install the interior now. Just line up the front pins, shown by the red arrows here, and then snap it in place tightly. Line up the bed and snap it into place on the cab. Once it's finished, the body lines will match and the cab and bed will be very close. Attach the chassis to the body, and there are pins in the front of the chassis that line up in the front bumper, and there's a tab in the back that attaches below the tailgate. Now we can assemble the bed caps and the bumper. The taillights snap in place, and a little white glue would hold them there better. Paint the lower part of the bumper gunmetal and attach the bumper, and the knob on the tailgate is yellow. The tailgate panel is slid into place in the bed, and the bed caps and the tailgate cap added now. As the black was the correct finish there, I did not paint these parts. We'll finish the assembly by painting the top half of the mirrors body color and then adding the mirror faces. Install the mirrors and the hood vents. As they were the proper finish and color, I didn't paint those either. I wanted to add a personal touch to my model, so I printed out my logo on a piece of plain paper with an inkjet color printer, and I put some clear cellophane tape on both sides. Then I cut it out because I had sized it in the paint program, and then I used some white glue to attach it to the rear bumper. Although this is a snap-tight kit, it's a great rendition of the real truck, and there aren't many models out there that duplicate it. So as you can see, with just a few finishing touches, it really starts to look good. Just imagine you could add some really nice looking tires and wheels to this to give it an off-road look. But everything here snaps together perfectly well. There's very little need for even adding some glue. The interior is nicely detailed and when finished, and it doesn't have a toy-like appearance to it. But the body is solid and straight. And of course, painting is optional. You could just slap this together in an hour or so, actually, if you wanted something for the young ones to play with and put together. As a quick build, you know, it could be either one, a slump buster for you or the beginning of a custom model. As the advanced builder could make it a really customized truck and look. Overall, it's a great kit. They're not that expensive, and it will give you the 2015 Raptor kit. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I really liked it, and I think that if you are looking for something like this for either purpose, for a child build or the base for a custom, I'd buy one and put it on my shelf. Well, we hope you like this step-by-step premium model kit review, and so that you don't miss any more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. But you can find us on Facebook, and as always, at our website, www.rightonreplicas.com. If you've got more time than money, give me a jingle if you're interested in becoming a builder for Right On Replicas.